fishbone diagram. So this is how your fishbone diagram looks like. So this is the central spine, and this arrow indicates the ribs. So basically this diagram looks like a fishbone, like a fishbone. That's why the name is given as a fishbone diagram. So here in the fishbone diagram, the spine of a diagram, that is the central line. So this is the spine of a diagram. This is the central line. So this central line, it represents the quality factor under consideration. So that is the main quality factor that you are trying to measure. It is a main factor which is under consideration. And the diagonal ribs and the ribs, the diagonal lines around the central spine, it indicates the potential cause or the quality problems. So these are the potential cause or potential quality problems. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that we have indicated here. So if the central line here, it represents the specification defects. So you are trying to measure the specification defects, or your quality parameter is a specification defect. So what could be the probable causes of the specification defect? Are the missing requirements, ambiguous requirements, incorrect requirements, or frequent changes in the specification. That's why, because of either of these parameters, you have introduced defects in your specification. So this is something about the central spine and ribs. The spine and ribs rotation is then added to each of the major ribs of the diagram to expand upon the cause noted. So here you can see that this is the central spine. This is your rib. So this particular rib, it tells you that because of incorrect specification, this defect has occurred. So in detail of this incorrect specification, if you want to go, so these are the probable cause, these are the minute level, what you can say, the reasons. So why incorrect information? Because of the outdated information, because the information was outdated, that is the reason why the information was incorrect. Customer gave the wrong information. So customer, when you have asked customer about the information, so customer has given you an incorrect information. So these are the minute level causes for this rib or the incorrect specification. Okay, so this is how this fishbone diagram represents the error cause, the defect cause, and minute level details of it. Now the collection of process metric is the driver for the creation of the fishbone diagram. Collection of the process metric is the driver for the creation of a fishbone diagram. A completed fishbone diagram can be analyzed to derive indicator that will enable a software organization to modify its process or reduce. So basically what is the use of this fishbone diagram? So fishbone diagram, it helps you to derive indicators. It helps you to analyze your measures. It helps you to derive process metrics. Now we know what is the meaning of measure, metric, and indicator. Okay. So fishbone diagram acts as an indicator. It gives an important indication to the project manager and the software development team to identify the probable defects, the probable cause of defects, the nature of defects, so that corrective actions can be taken early in the project development life cycle. So this is something about the fishbone diagram. Now next topic is project metrics. Now metric we know. What do you mean by metric? Metric is a collection of measures or collection of a measure. Based upon collection of measure, you get some idea where your process is moving. Okay, so software process metrics are used for strategic purposes. Strategic purposes means designing the policy at architectural level. Okay. Software project measures are tactical. Software project measures are tactical. Tactical in the sense from starting of the project to ending of the project. Basically it tells you about the basically tells about the development life cycle. That is, the project metrics and indicator derived from them are used by project manager and software team to adapt project workflow and technical activities. So difference between process metric and project measures. So process metric means about the architectural pattern. Using this you can derive a good architecture. Then software project measures. So the project metrics which are derived from the project measures are tactical in nature. I mean, it tells the project manager and team how we are moving, whether our planned activities are in as per our schedule, or we are lagging behind somewhere, or about certain particular process in the development phase that needs to be improved on. So the first application of project metric on most software project occurs during the estimation. So the first task during the project development is the estimation. Estimation clearly tells, like, estimating the number of hours, estimating the number of programmers, estimating the deadline, estimating the cost of the project. So estimate relates to various number of factors. So metrics collected from past projects are used as a basis from which effort and time estimates are made for current software work. Out of a sudden, if you want to estimate something, it would be really very difficult for you to estimate without any prior experience. So similar kind of a project you might have worked upon, or keeping that particular project as a baseline, you can derive certain metrics out of that particular project to have your estimation done for the current project. As a project proceeds, now measures of effort and calendar time expended are compared to original estimate. During before the starting of the project, you might have estimated that the number of effort measures of effort. Measure of effort indicates that the number of people who are working in the project and the time they are working in the project, the number of hours they are spending in the project, the number of hours they are recording in their work log. And calendar time expended are compared. Calendar time is actual number of hours are compared to the original estimates. Then the project manager uses this data to monitor and control the progress. Now, obvious, if we are lagging in the process, then depending upon this set of information, the project manager can take corrective action. The team size can be increased, or if we are moving ahead, then few of the team members can be released from the team and can be assigned to work on some another module, another project. Okay. So as technical work commences, now as we move on from estimation to development, as technical work moves forward, other project metrics begin to have significance. Production rates represented in terms of pages of documentation, review hours, function points, delivered source line are also measured. So these are few metrics, like the pages of documentation. So documentation is again a part of development. During in the starting phase, we have studied that the development or delivery of a software product does not necessarily mean that we deliver only the working module or working code. The appropriate documentation related to the use of that product is also an important part of release that needs to be prepared and that needs to be delivered. So production rate represented in terms of pages of documentation. So definitely, as and when you prepare the document, few man hours and time and few people you will be allowed to work on that, and project valuable time is also spent in that. So review hours. So review hours are also considered as one of the important parameter. If the code is more complex, or if there are many errors are many errors have encountered, definitely the review time will be increased. So review hour also needs to be incorporated in this metric. Function points, we'll see what do you mean by function point in the next slide. And delivered source lines are also measured. How many number of line of code that you are going to deliver is also one of the major metric. In addition, errors uncovered during each software engineering task are also tracked. Definitely errors uncovered during each software engineering task are also tracked. So that, because why the tracking of the errors are very important? Because if you track errors that are encountered during each task, what are the various tasks? We have seen communication, modeling, development, testing. So errors uncovered during each of the tasks are tracked. So that tracking is important in the current project as well, and tracking is very important as a baseline. Tracking is very important as a help for referring into the later projects. As the software evolves from specification to design, technical metrics are collected to assess design quality and to provide indicators that will influence the approach taken to code generation. The intent of project metric is twofold. The project metric is basically used for two reasons. First, these metrics are used to minimize the development schedule. By making adjustment necessary to avoid delays and mitigate potential problems and risks. Project metric helps to minimize the development schedule. As soon as you finish your development, as early as you can finish your development, the software is ready for the delivery. So how it minimizes the development? Because it helps you to adjust necessary parameters. So if you have observed that we are lagging behind due to certain specific reasons early in the development life cycle, then project manager very in advance can take action to so that necessary steps can be taken by project manager, so that he should not the project will not get delayed. Mitigate potential problems and risk. Identifying the potential problems and risk upfront. Okay. Say if the potential problems have already been already happened, and then you are trying to resolve that problem, definitely it is going to take certain amount of time. It will be a major factor in delaying your project timelines. Okay, so if you try to identify the potential problems and risk upfronts, so that your delays in development can be avoided. Now, second project metric are used to assess product quality on an ongoing basis. So at an ongoing basis means at every phase you are trying to ascertain that whether this particular phase in which we are now dealing with is leading towards a quality product, because our ultimate aim is to have a quality software, and whenever necessary modify the technical approach to improve the quality. And whenever you feel that now that quality is not whatever the desired quality parameters are there, they are not getting fulfilled. So based upon the insight provided by these project metrics, you can fine tune your quality parameters. You can fine tune your approach towards the software development, towards team management, towards other allied activities which are involved in the development, so that avoiding the delays and getting product delivered on time, and at the same time ensuring the highest level of quality is there. As the quality improves, defects are minimized, and as the defect count goes on, the amount of rework required during the project is reduced. So both the things are dependent on each other. Like as you improve the quality, as you work towards achieving more better quality software product, then definitely you are going to make less errors, and if there are less errors, then definitely the quality will be more. Okay, this leads to a reduction in overall project cost. Okay, this leads to a reduction in overall project cost. At any point of time, if you feel that the quality software is not getting developed, you need to rework on particular idea, then reworking means definitely already the amount of time you have spent, amount of time spent in development, amount of time spent in documentation, amount of time spent in testing, communication has been already been lost. So rework means definitely the project cost will increase. Software measurement. Now you need to measure the software. Now software cannot be measured like you measure a distance or say liquid. I mean in kgs, in liters. Okay, it cannot be measured. Software measurement do not have a standard measuring unit. Okay, so measurement in the physical world can be categorized in two ways: direct measures and indirect measures. So direct measure includes the length of a bolt. Bolt means some kind of screw is there, so you can identify the length of a bolt. It's a direct measure. So indirect measure means the quality of bolts. Okay, so direct measure indicates quantitative analysis or quantitative answer. If I say what is the length of a screw, you will say 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter. Okay, so its length is universal, it's direct measure. The quality, indirect measure, quality of a screw अच्छा है has a various meaning related to say two different people. मेरे लिए अच्छा मतलब महीना भर चल जाए बहुत अच्छा है, किसी और के लिए अच्छा मतलब साल भर चलना चाहिए अच्छा है, किसी के लिए अच्छा मतलब एक बार खरीद लिया तो कभी टूटना नहीं चाहिए वो स्क्रू इज अच्छा. So अच्छा is not quantitative. It's indirect measure. Okay. So software measure can also be categorized similarly. Software measures are also categorized similarly. Now direct measure. Okay. So direct measure of the software engineering process include cost and effort applied. So basically direct measure are based upon these two important factors, that is cost and effort applied. Cost, you can say cost means a particular number, say rupees, dollars. Okay, and effort applied. Effort means how many people are working and how many the number of hours the number of hours they have spent working on this particular project. So the cost and effort. So direct measures of the product include the lines of code produced. It is focused on the cost and effort are two main parameter. अब इसके minute level measures क्या हो सकते हैं? Direct measures of the product include lines of code produced. Execution speed can be quantified. Lines of code can be counted. Memory size required is again quantified. Defects reported over some set period of time. So defects reported during development phase, defects reported during unit testing, defects reported during the designing phase can be counted. So indirect measures of product include the functionality, how count the functionalities, quality again and indirect measure, complexity, indirect measure, efficiency, reliability, maintainability and other abilities. All these functionalities are indirect measures that cannot be quantified, or even if quantified then not as specific as in the direct measures. So the cost and efforts required to build software, the number of lines of code produced, other direct measures are relatively easy to collect. Okay, those are easy to collect. Like you can simply count the number of lines, or other direct measures are very easy to collect, as long as specific convention for measurements are established in advance. Now, however, the quality and functionality of software or efficiency, again, they are very difficult or they are derived indirectly. Self-explanatory है, देखिए. Difference between direct measure and indirect measure, ये clear है? Direct measures can be counted, can be specified, exclusively specified. Indirect measures can be inferred. Quality अच्छी है, 4 पैरामीटर देखने के बाद अच्छा ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ ये ठीक लग रहा है तो अच्छा है. But अच्छा का definition may vary from software developer to developer, manager to manager, based upon the complexity, efficiency, reliability, maintainability. There are various number of measures. These are indirect measures.